Hi, this video here offers some testimonials from students who have worked with me in my 5-MeO DMT Integration Specialist training course with Mindscape Institute. This is a class that I offer twice a year. It's 9 weeks long and it's open to only 15 students at a time. I offer this class with Mindscape because, for one, I'm a professional 5-MeO DMT integration specialist and wanted a place where I could share some of my knowledge. And for two, people who experience 5-MeO DMT desperately want someone that they can talk to about their experience. However, this is one of the propositions of the class. 5-MeO DMT is so much more powerful and so much more profound than virtually all other psychedelics that the tools, protocols, and methodologies and ways that integration is dealt with other psychedelics such as ketamine, psilocybin, MDMA, those tools don't work when it comes to 5-MeO DMT. It is too different. It is too unique. So many people who experience 5-MeO DMT struggle finding someone who is knowledgeable, educated, and is able to hear them out, understand their experience, and give them meaningful advice and reflection for how to integrate this really, really monumental and overwhelming experience. So I created this class to help train other people to provide the same service that I do, working with clients on a one-on-one basis, going through their experience, going through what's happening with them afterwards, learning about their background, and working with them at an energetic and somatic level to help them fully embody and process the ongoing energies, emotions, thoughts, reactions, and habits that are triggered by working with 5-MeO DMT. It's a profoundly transformative tool, but it can also lead to people who are dysregulated, ungrounded, dissociated, and they need help, they need reflection, and they need some guidance. And they need it from people who are well educated on the topic. So, in this short video, what I have for you is a couple mini interviews with two of my former students, and then just some audio testimonials from some of my students who wanted to contribute to this project of helping to promote the class. If you want to learn more about this 5-MeO DMT Integration Specialist training course, stop by my personal webpage, martinball.net. There's information right on the homepage. There's also a separate page just for the course itself. I'm more than happy to send you any information that you'd like about the class. I'm happy to share the syllabus with you. And if you want to just reach out and shoot me a question via email, martinwball@gmail.com. All right. Thanks for listening to my little introduction here. Again, we have two mini interviews with former students and then some audio testimonials. I hope you enjoy what these students have to say about taking this course with me at Mindscape Institute. All right, so Jay, I'd invite you first just to introduce yourself and kind of your role in the world of 5-MeO DMT or psychedelic medicines, anything you'd want to share.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Munger, located out in Colorado, and am a therapist and do work with 5-MeO in facilitation fashion, as well as provide integration services and work at those from a therapeutic lens of helping folks to work with how to embody the work of 5-MeO that brings to us.
Great. How long have you been in the field?
So I've been working with 5-MeO for about 5 years now, and working with others just more in the last couple years. And the same piece, I've been a therapist for about 2 years here.
Yeah.
After a life in the business world made the jump into a different way of being, that's for sure.
Yeah. What particular format of therapy or what school do you come from?
So I graduated from Naropa University,
Mhm.
and the primary modalities that I enjoy working with are Gestalt therapy and other somatic therapy orientations.
Okay, great. So, what originally caught your interest in signing up for my 5-MeO DMT Integration Specialist training course? What inspired you?
I was really excited to see that there was a course to kind of dive in deeper. I've read pretty much all of your books, and dove into the most recent book on integration. I think I almost like the day it came out or the next day, because integration means so much to me. It's wonderful to have peak experiences. It doesn't mean a whole lot if there's not an integration process. And whether that's with on your own or with someone else, in community, whatever it looks like for each individual, but knowing that there are, and you say this regularly in your training, 5-MeO is so unique, and its process of integration is unique. And so it requires a special knowledge. It's not the same as going to a psilocybin integration training or an MDMA integration training. And so when there was a course on it, it was like, yes, I want to dive deeper. I want to be able to really learn from someone that is has made a profession of integration coaching around 5-MeO.
Great. So here's a question. So you read my book on integration first. What would you say is what do you gain by actually being in class with me versus say just reading the book? What do you feel it might be different, or what added value would there be for people?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a book is great. A book is you disseminating information. Um, and if I want to dive deeper, want to understand more about what you're talking, there are questions. It's not exactly the easiest thing to just quickly say, well, Martin, what did you mean by that? Um, and I think that's one of the pieces that the course really offered was over this period of, more than a couple months to really learn from your experience, from your way of working, from your orientation to the world, and you engaged us as students within that process. So there were case studies, there were examples, there were, the integration call that you had 3 days ago that felt applicable to what we were working on that week, that you're just not going to get from reading a book or listening to a podcast. Uh, Real practical application, you asking us questions, engaging us as students, and that kind of process that says like there's a readiness then that comes at the end to move from thinking about what it is to do integration work to being stepping into the world as an integration specialist.
Great. Thanks for that response, Jay. Um, at this point, who would you recommend take the class? Like in your mind, who do you think that this would really be applicable for?
Yeah, wow, that's a wide berth that I think can uh, really apply to there. One, I mean, I think anyone that is facilitating this medicine could benefit from being part of that training. Um, Integration is so important, and we may have our specific training around ceremony and facilitation, or the whatever we would call the act of engaging with 5-MeO. Um, Drawing from experience of what can happen in an integration process and how to be prepared for that beyond just the subset of people that we have worked with as facilitators or our mentors have worked with, but really getting into a wide breadth from someone who is a professional in that, I think is really important. And so much is around, how to work with this piece that comes up in those first couple weeks that handled well can be a beautiful unfolding around a challenging experience. Handled poorly can be disastrous and traumatic. And I think if you're working, facilitating this medicine, serving others, having knowledge of how to navigate that time period skillfully is essential. Um, I also think anyone that's in the psychedelic integration world would really benefit from this as well. So that there's not that potential of misdiagnosing. I think it's probably the right way,
Hmm.
misdiagnosing an integration process for something more severe from lack of understanding of the energetics around 5-MeO. And even if that's in the basis piece of, okay, I have a good understanding of it and now know how to refer out, how to recognize and that 5-MeO is very different from other integration processes. This is why, this is how to work with it and how to recognize when it's beyond my skill set. So kind of like anyone that's in the psychedelic world, I think really can benefit from this.
Oh, well, thank you, Jay. Is there anything I didn't ask you about that you feel would be important to mention about the class or um, what you learned from the class or anything else?
I do find it was a wonderful chance to not only learn about your integration process, but your understanding of 5-MeO, the energetics and the way that it works, and how that applies to integration. So that's what I would tell folks is it's not just integration, but it's preparation, initiation, and integration all in an arc that supports someone in their journey of unfolding in their integration process.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your input on this, Jay. I really appreciate it and appreciate all that you've shared here in our little mini interview.
Thanks, Martin. Good to be with you.
Hey, so Sarah, I just wanted to invite you to offer a little promo for potential students coming into my 5-MeO DMT Integration Specialist training course. And though you weren't a student in that class, you and I have done a number of integration sessions over the years. That's how you and I first connected when you reached out to me. And then ultimately you did take the 5-MeO facilitator training course with Mindscape. And you are now one of the instructors in the facilitation training course. So I thought, even though, again, you weren't in the integration training course, that you still might be someone who felt that you had something that you could share with people who were considering, like, why would I want to take the course? What do I think I could get out of it? So that's my little introduction for you. But with that said, why would you suggest somebody take a course with me on this topic of 5-MeO integration?
Yeah, what I've learned from working with you, and I really came to being in my own deep energetic process, and not a lot of people can understand what happens when you work with 5-MeO on an energetic level in the body somatically over time. It's not just something pertained to the actual session, but it's something that can happen for many months to years afterwards. So coming to you from that perspective of someone who'd been in through that experience, you were able to help me understand like the actual energetic nuance of what was going on without spiritual language, without like mumbo jumbo, but like from a true energetic perspective of like when the body has energy stored and it needs to be moved, it's going to have to do and release in a way that it's going to have to do, and it's going to have to take as long as it does. But I feel like you're able to offer language to experiences that don't have language. And that's really helpful for the mind to understand what happened in those 5-MeO experiences. And as a facilitator, when we do integration with our clients, they're looking for a deeper understanding of an experience that their brain has zero language for. And I feel like you bring in this like fundamental foundation of being able to offer them reflections so that their experience can ground into the body and not just stay as some fluff, abstract experience in the mind, which is what will happen when we don't learn how to integrate the energetic, massive expansion that we do experience, or even having to revisit trauma in that experience. We get both when we go into those. You help bring in the language and like the embodiment terms to make it real lived experience. And that is why integration is important. And to be serving this medicine without proper integration is unethical, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
we all need to understand how to hold that space.
Yeah, so I want to just go back to something that you've mentioned here that I think for me this is a big part of doing the integration training program is teaching people how to talk to their clients about 5-MeO and also how to listen to their experiences. And so I know that this is something that's come up in our own private conversations about how for people who are going through these integration processes, there can be a strong desire to want to talk to someone and to be heard. But
Mhm.
what have you felt of people who aren't trained in this field? Are they able to listen? Are they able to understand? Can you have conversations with people? Or, in other words, like what might be the value of having somebody who's trained in 5-MeO to talk to?
Yeah, when you just asked that question, I felt a lot of emotion rise up in my body of, getting to come and speak to you for my own integration experiences. Um, I really felt seen and witnessed because you understood what I was saying to you. If one doesn't have deep experience with 5-MeO on the receiving end and serving end, how can we offer that deep level of resonance that the person is coming to us without knowing what that experience is truly like? This medicine is unlike any other medicine that there is. Integration for MDMA, for psilocybin, for Wachuma is not going to be the same as integration for 5-MeO when you're literally blowing out of human experience to feel the experience of true love and God. And only then are you able to offer true relation and integration to someone because it lives in the nervous system. And like your energy offers that resonance. And that is why I think it's super important that someone is properly trained by someone who has that already in their energy field, because then they can gift that back to their clients.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. I'm just curious if there's anything you'd want to say on sort of that journey from being an integration client to then being in the Mindscape course and now being a Mindscape instructor yourself. Um, just anything you'd want to share with people about how has that been for you to kind of move through these very different roles?
I mean, it's such a process of becoming, right? When we're on our path and we follow our path, like the path continues to open up for us. And it's been sweet to get to cultivate this connection with you for many years now. And coming to you for integration and getting to literally say anything, like I never felt judged. I never felt like there wasn't something that I couldn't share with you. And I think that's a beautiful gift that you offer. There's very non-judgmental energy in your space. It's actually pure compassion and love. Like as I share with you, I often can feel you feeling my emotions and literally watching tears come out of your eyes. And like you truly are embodied in the teachings of this medicine. So really want to offer that reflection. Um, and yeah, I came to you early on in my journey as I had learned how to serve the medicine, but was learning how to embody the processes that I was in and getting to cultivate my relationship with you and getting to meet Kirby and then telling you I wanted to open up this church. And it was like, okay, let me come into this course with you and Kirby for the, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. Do I know everything I need to know to hold this in a safe way? And getting to come in as a student and relating to Kirby, it was really beautiful that he was like, will you come in as a guest teacher? And now I get to come and offer everything that I learned. And we all have our different perspectives. So it's really sweet to feel included in that way with the work that Mindscape is putting out, and that, yeah, like have allies in this space.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. Really appreciate all that. And just to kind of wrap up this little mini interview, just want to invite you to let people listening know where you are located and what your offerings are.
Yeah, I'm located in Oakland, California. I have Bufo Church here called Altar of the Heart, and you can find that at altaroftheheartchurch.com. And I also have a women's healing and embodiment program called Devotion, the Path to Peace. And a lot of women come to me to integrate their experience with five, really learn how to create a new reality based on a new perspective, no longer relating to life from their past trauma. And that is at sarahnapic.com/devotion.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sarah. And it's really been a great pleasure and honor of mine to just be on this path of growth and transformation with you, and just where you are today versus where we started doing the integration work. It's just been beautiful to watch this unfolding. And of course, there's still struggle in life, both for you, for myself, for everyone. But just to see the growth and transformation has been beautiful. And it's a great pleasure to refer to you as a co-teacher in the facilitation course and having moved through all of this yourself.
Oh, what a beautiful reflection. Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Hello everyone, this is Satalik from Mexico, and I know a lot of 5-MeO DMT training focuses on the mystical, but this one is different. It meets you in the body as an energetic system from Martin Ball's integration specialist training, I took away two simple things: psychosomatic processing, letting the body do its work, and a map of the energetic centers to feel where the energy moves, where it stays, and how to help clients through it. No belief systems, just real experiential facts. If you want to work from the body and its energetic systems, not just the mind, trust me, you don't want to miss this training.
Hi there. My name is Thor Ivarsson, and I am a psychedelic facilitator who participated in Dr. Martin Ball's online 5-MeO integration seminar late last year. I live in Iceland, where I've been facilitating most of the classical psychedelics for over 3 years now. Having tried both Bufo and the pure molecule of 5-MeO, I was aware of its incredible potency, and with that knowledge, I knew I had to have the proper skill set in my tool belt before I started serving the medicine. After carefully examining what was available in that regard, I finally came to the natural conclusion that Dr. Martin Ball's 5-MeO Integration Specialist course was exactly what I needed. Now that I have finished the course, I wanted to take a few minutes to share my experience because I came away genuinely impressed with both the quality of the course and Dr. Martin himself. First and foremost, I would like to point out his incredible enthusiasm for the subject. It is almost like the man just discovered the molecule last week, since his interest and passion for the subject is so genuine and strongly felt. He really gives the project all his attention, which adds another dimension to the whole course. What also stood out to me was his depth of knowledge and the grounded way he approaches integration work. This is clearly a man with deeper knowledge on the subject than most. This wasn't a superficial or overly simplified seminar. It was thoughtful, engaging, and clearly informed by a tremendous amount of direct experience and long-term study. One thing I especially appreciated was how clearly Dr. Martin communicates these topics. For those who have tried the molecule and come to touch with the non-duality, they know it's incredibly difficult to put into words the essence of the experience. Dr. Martin is the only person I know that comes close to describing what takes place so that a layman, or for that matter, a seasoned psychonaut, can grasp the subject, or in other words, experiences connected to 5-MeO and integration that can be difficult to articulate, but he has a way of discussing them that feels both accessible and intellectually serious at the same time. The seminar also maintained a very balanced tone throughout. It didn't feel sensationalized or exaggerated. Instead, there was a strong emphasis on maturity, self-awareness, responsibility, and meaningful integration. Dr. Martin's way of expressing himself is clear, no mumbo-jumbo, and straight to the point, which I like and appreciate. I also appreciated the fact that the course focused not only on understanding profound experiences themselves, but also on what happens afterwards, how we process them, learn from them, and integrate insights into ordinary life in a grounded and constructive way. Another thing that made the seminar valuable for me was the atmosphere that Dr. Martin created. Even in an online setting, the course felt open, respectful, reflective, and genuinely engaging. People were encouraged to think deeply, ask questions, and approach the material thoughtfully. For me personally, the seminar gave me much greater appreciation for the integration work as an ongoing process rather than something confined to a single moment or experience. I also appreciated Dr. Martin's sincerity and obvious dedication to the subject matter. His passion comes through very naturally, and it felt clear to me that he genuinely cares about helping people approach these experiences responsibly and intelligently. Since completing the course, many of the ideas and perspectives discussed there have continued to stay with me, which to me is always a sign of a meaningful learning experience. Overall, I'm very glad that I participated in the seminar, and I'd absolutely recommend this to others who are seriously interested in this field and who want to deepen more thoughtful understanding of the 5-MeO integration work. Thank you.
A warm and hello to the beautiful collective. This message is for Dr. Martin Ball and for all of those who are thinking about taking his 5-MeO DMT integration specialist course. My name is Shyla Brooklier. I'm the founder of Dragonfly Temple, a nonprofit faith-based church. Our sacrament is Bufo, so 5-MeO DMT. And I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience in Dr. Martin Ball's class. It was absolutely amazing. I got so much out of this class. Not only did we get to have intimate discussions and time with Dr. Martin Ball, who's so knowledgeable. He's so in touch with this molecule, and just his relationship and the deepness that he shares with the spirit of the molecule is absolutely beautiful. Not only did we get that time with him, his messages were extremely helpful when it comes to helping integrate my clients, my participants. And I feel like there's so much to say on this topic. But one of the biggest takeaways was just how Dr. Martin Ball was able to explain the energy moving through the body. He was able to really describe somatically what's happening in the experience. And it was really helpful because now I feel like I have a better grip on, understanding what is happening on the level of the body when it comes to the participant and when they're under the medicine. And I'm able to help people more during that because I think before that I was, imagining what they were feeling. And now I really feel like I can feel what the participant is feeling. I might not know all of the details of each moment, and that's okay. The main thing was, understanding things like, open body posture and that helping the energy move more throughout the body when it comes to the client, and just different body positions that I can, tell people and kind of guide them through the experience. And I also had an amazing kind of breakthrough with integrating my personal journeys and understanding, the purging that was going on. And, when it comes to either purging from the solar plexus or just purging in different ways, the shaking, the crying, the somatic release, it was really, really detailed and thorough. He really helped me understand that everyone's situation is so unique and everyone's life circumstance is so unique, and not to assume anything about the client. And it really helped me, put into perspective that, everyone is extremely powerful. People are so different. People are, so complex as well. And it really helped me to be more sensitive, more compassionate when it comes to my clients and helping them integrate their experience and helping them make lasting changes in their lives. And I'm super thankful for the time that I had with him and in his class. We had some really deep discussions that really opened my eyes and opened my knowledge and allowed me to feel more confident when it comes to, helping people figure out what it is that they need. So I'm forever grateful to Dr. Martin Ball. And, he really cares. He really, really has a huge heart. And he really cares about his clients, and he really wants people to feel grounded as possible and to feel safe. And, he definitely left a mark on me and the way that I handle integrating my clients. And I'm super, super grateful for that. So I really highly recommend this course to anybody who's thinking about it, who would like to deepen their knowledge, who would like to feel more confident. And yeah, I would take that class over and over again if I had the chance. So thank you so much, Dr. Martin Ball.
Hi, my name is Wendy Alicorn. I'm a preparation and integration specialist for psychedelic and ancestral medicine experiences, working through a complex trauma and somatic lens. I offer this work in Spanish for the Spanish-speaking communities. I'm also a graduate of Dr. Martin Ball's 5-MeO DMT integration specialist training. When I joined Martin's classes, I believe I already knew this medicine since I had already worked with it before. I thought I knew its language. I came with an open heart, ready to learn. But class after class, that belief began to change. What I knew, I realized was only a small part, and beyond it lay a far deeper experience, one I was only beginning to understand. Martin's classes opened that deeper understanding. They helped me understand 5-MeO DMT and the experiences it brings far more completely. To understand the language the body is expressing, to recognize each stage of the process, and to understand why the body expresses as it does in a 5-MeO DMT journey. And that was only the beginning of what I learned. I came to understand how vital integration is after a 5-MeO DMT experience. Now, each time I support integration, I feel genuinely equipped, more prepared, and more aware of how this medicine expresses itself and what each person moves through. Every journey is so unique and so different. This is far more than a course. It is a necessity. Knowledge anyone facilitating this medicine should carry. Martin teaches this with such clarity and with so many examples that it becomes easy to understand. And the weekly assignments gave me something I did not expect. Reflecting and writing about my own past journeys became the very way I integrated them, professionally and with structure. Something I had never had the honor of doing before. All of this, the courses, the classes, the assignments, and Martin's teachings, has shaped the way I show up for this work. I am so deeply grateful for it. And for Martin, a teacher who knows this medicine with remarkable depth, dedication, and respect. Thank you, Martin, for your knowledge and for the honor you bring to this work. With gratitude and respect, Wendy Alicorn.
Hello, my name is Megan Esquera, and I came to Dr. Ball's 5-MeO integration course because I knew that there were layers of this work that I hadn't even begun to touch yet. I work with people who are going through some of the most profound expansions of consciousness imaginable. Moments where their ego dissolves or boundaries between self and everything else just collapses. And I strive and want it to be a cleaner and clearer vessel for that process. Not just as a facilitator, but honestly just as a human being navigating myself. So if you're drawn to this medicine, if you work with it, or you're simply someone who wants to understand the deeper mechanics of what happens when consciousness meets itself at that level, I would highly recommend this course. Dr. Ball goes very genuinely deep, and I do feel that I walked away more expanded, more grounded in my purpose, and also more equipped to just hold space for the kind of transformation that actually changes the trajectory of a soul. I would highly recommend.